any betterment of humanity. They're not here for that. They don't want to make. I don't think these people are concerned about the state of the world we're living. Okay, or even this country. They don't care about that. What we need in this country is better harmony, people living together, better communication, so that we don't have people who think they're Islamophobic and they're actually not. Because believe me, once we finish with this conversation, you're going to have a different view on Islam and Muslims. You know why? Because no problem. Be as critical as you like. No problem with that.
You can understand how in Western society now, if you're critical of Islam, then you are often castigated as an Islamophobe. So I could make claims about Islam, and I would be castigated as
it depends.
Which is why I said I'm one, because I often get called it. Just if I speak out about some of the points that I raised earlier, that I think we're going to have to clarify and go over next week when I've got some more information.
Yes, please do.
And
please
then
do.
You can counter that.
Yes.
But I think that we need to take away from that, because often people aren't allowed to have those conversations about
Islam,
when they can about other theisms. Like you can criticize Christianity, people can make jokes about Catholicism and crudely things like paedophilia, which they do, but you can't say anything about Islam. It's almost enshrined in this, in this special way, and I don't understand that. I don't see why that is.
My concern is when criticism turns into hate speech, or when mockery turns into dehumanization or demonization, then it has to be stopped. You see, there is no such thing as absolute freedom of speech anywhere in the world. It doesn't exist. Even in this liberal society like Britain, absolute freedom of speech does not exist. It has never existed. It does not exist. It will never exist. As long as humans exist, absolute freedom of speech will never exist. So now that we know...
But I would argue that the freedom of speech that we have in this country, in a British society, is a better version of freedom of speech, freedom of choice and freedom of expression that you have in Islam. I honestly believe that our system trumps yours. I think that our, sort of either atheist or Judeo-Christian ideology, that sort of culture, that sort of way of life.
I believe Britain is a beautiful society with a lot of virtues to cherish, to celebrate, and this is me speaking with the utmost honesty from the depth of my heart. I believe the reason why I'm in Britain is because I cherish this country. Okay, I'm here out of my choice. Okay, I believe it is one of the best countries to be in the world. Okay, because of opportunities, because of equality before the law, because of all the freedoms we have, no doubt. Okay, but that does not mean Britain is perfect. Okay, like we talked about the foreign policy and the hypocrisy of politicians and British support for a lot of inhumane atrocities around the world to this day, unfortunately. Okay, and despite all that, I believe Britain is a great country. The British people are some of the most loving and tolerant people in the world. Okay, having said that, now when you study about Islam or classical Islam, the Muslim history, you will see that the freedoms we find in Britain, despite the fact that those ages were very barbaric, uncivilized, Islamic lands offered a lot of these freedoms. In Spain, in India, to Muslims and non-Muslims. Absolutely, believe me. If you go and study the Jewish history, for example, the golden age of the Jews was in Spain. I had a long conversation with Joseph, who was standing here right now. The golden age of the Jewish people was in Spain, in the Middle East. The Jews survived extinction because of the Muslim protection. This is well testified to by Jewish historians. Christians testified to Muslim tolerance. Okay, Muslims governed India for nearly 1,000 years, parts of India.
So what I would do is, Why did
Muslims govern India for 1,000 years?
Why not? Why did Britain govern the world for?
You condemn Britain. You condemn. I hear you.
No. We condemn what Britain did. No. We don't condemn Britain. No. We condemn what British colonialism did. Yeah.
Muslims didn't do a colonialism.
But you could argue.
No. That's a very good point. Now, thank you. Intelligent point. Now, go and study the history of Muslim colonialism, if you want to call it that. Firstly, it was not colonialism, right? Because Muslims did not treat these places as colonies.
Didn't they change the languages of the Egyptians?
No. The Coptic language is still alive.
Still spoke Arabic.
Coptic language is alive to this day. It is alive.
Not the dominant different
So can I
language
make
of
a
those
quick
nations.
point?
Because people converted to Islam
No,
out of
they
choice.
didn't convert to Islam out of choice.
Have you read any book
How
on?
did
Can I
an
make a
Arab
point?
Yeah.
merchant in the Middle East, in the Arabian Peninsula, end up conquering Spain? Why did the Spanish attack the Arabs?
No.
When did the Spanish attack the
No.
Arabs? So was it in self-defense when the Muslims went over there?
No, no. It was. I'll tell you. You asked me a question
So it
now.
wasn't colonialism.
Okay. You asked me a question. You want an answer? The answer is, I'm going to just answer it for you. When Muslims reached what we know today as Morocco, Muslims are approached by Spanish
And this
Jews.
is all in peaceful self-defense, right? From
No,
Arabian
no,
Peninsula
no,
to
no,
Egypt,
no,
Sudan,
no.
Ethiopia, Algeria.
No, it was not in self-defense. It was not. It was not in self-defense. It was expansion. It was military expansion. It was by force. I'm going to help you. I'm going to make your point for you. It was by force. Muslim forces in the 1st century of Islam, they forced their way into Roman territory and the Persian territory. Why is the question now? Why would these destitute, semi-civilized Arab Bedouins take up 2 superpowers simultaneously? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? It's a good question, right?
So can I make
Yes?
my point?
I mean, yeah.
Can I make my point now? So you could argue that, you made an interesting point. You said, what did these certain individuals do? They converted to Islam, and you said by choice.
Yes, they did.
One example I know about the Ottoman Empire, which I studied a little bit.
Yes.
Under Sultan Abdul Hamid II.
Which is very late, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very late. It was
19th century.
yeah, it was like
1870s.
1908,
1870s. Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But it began. They invaded Armenia
Yes.
to occupy it, and it led to the death of 3 million Christians that were killed under
1 million.
No, it was 3
The
million.
number is. I mean.
No, it started off with 1 million, and then
Okay.
it went up to 2.8 million.
Have you studied any book on Armenian genocide, if you want to call it that?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I invite you to go and read on it first. Okay.
There
No,
are
no, no,
many
no.
ways-
Again,
there are many ways
again.
that you can
Look.
research stuff.
No,
You
no,
don't-
no,
you
Sam.
don't have to pick up a book.
No, no, no,
All
Sam.
of
You
this
cannot.
information-
You
all of
cannot
this
research on
information-
Wikipedia. Sorry.
No, I
Sorry.
didn't research on
I'm not saying you
Wikipedia.
did. I'm not saying. I'm just
But
making a point.
I could argue that your book was written in a tendentious way by
No,
somebody who was
no,
biased
no, no,
to
no,
a
no, no.
favourable view of
Okay,
Islam.
okay. Why would a Jew favor the Ottoman Empire?
I don't know.
Bernard
No,
Lewis. You know Bernard Lewis?
No, I
Bernard Lewis was a Jewish historian, a Zionist Jew. Bernard Lewis was an advisor to the State of Israel.
But
Okay,
even a million
wait.
Christians, is that acceptable?
No, you're not listening to me. Wait, let me finish.
that was-
I'm not even. I'm saying even 10,
Yeah.
even one innocent person.
Yeah.
That's barbaric.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
It's as if you kill
that's,
one man, you've killed the whole
absolutely.
humanity.
That
Yeah.
you know the verse of the
Yeah.
Quran. So there you go. The point is now, okay, who did it is the question. Why did this happen?
Yeah.
What led to it?
Yeah.
What were the circumstances? What was it? The Ottoman government?
Yeah.
Was it the government policy?
Yeah.
Or was it someone else working in the name of government instigating that? These are some very important questions. That's
all
why I
I'm
like
doing-
to have informed
Yeah, and
discussions.
that's it. All I'm doing is I'm countering your point, because you can argue that. So I disagree with the way Tony Blair took us into the Iraq War. I was only 12 at the time, so I didn't have an opinion on it then. But as I sort of grow older, you can see that the way in which things turned out in the Middle East, particularly in Iraq, in Syria, you could pretty much track it back to that, and also the first Gulf War. So all I'm doing is I'm saying that our politicians' decisions can be argued that they're the same as the decisions of the leaders of the Ottoman Empire, not necessarily the Muslim people that lived under the
Okay.
empire.
Now,
or the British
firstly,
people
what
that
you
lived
have to
under our
understand is now, when you talked about Ottoman history, you talked about one particular event.
Yeah.
Okay, Ottomans came to power in 1299. Oh, the beginning of the Ottoman Empire. Basically, most historians they basically pin it down to 1299, the beginning.
Okay.
Osman I,
Yeah.
the first Ottoman Emir or emperor.
And my point was
It
600 years
it
later.
went all the way up to 1924.
Yeah.
600 years,
Yeah.
almost,
Yeah.
right? And then, having seen all of that history, you jump to one particular event in the 19th
Well,
century.
I'm
Sorry.
giving one
in-
example, but I could
yeah,
argue that.
yeah.
I could argue
Firstly,
Sure.
no, this shows something. Wait. I'm trying to lead to a point.
Yeah.
This shows, what does it show us? That you could not find an example
Yes.
in the
I'm
first
sure I
three.
could. I'll try. That's another thing I'll try. I'll
Try,
and find other
do
examples.
try, and we will talk about them. Okay. you could not find an example which is glaring at you,
I haven't yet
historically
looked. Don't
speaking.
say I can't. I haven't yet looked, because I will look and I'll see what.
Of course do. I'm saying the fact that you remember only one means it is a well-known one.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the only one that really goes around publicly and
But
people
then
talk
again-
about
but
it.
Then again, so's the Iraq War. You could say the Iraq War is this one sort of glaring example.
No, it's not. It's not. No, no. With British colonialism, we have many examples. We have the Bengal famine. We have the famine of 1770s, caused by East India Company. We have the Indian Mutiny. We have many examples. Okay, okay. We can talk when we start talking about colonial atrocities in India and elsewhere. We'll be here for another.
I know a lot about colonialism.
Okay. Now, Ottomans. Armenian genocide was not the government policy. It was firstly.
You can't pretend that it didn't
No.
happen.
It didn't happen in the time of Sultan Abdul Hamid, by the way. Abdul Hamid was gone. No, it was
No,
gone.
It was Abdul Hamid II.
No, it was not Abdul Hamid. No. You don't know what you're talking about.
I do.
No. It was another Ottoman Sultan.
Abdul Hamid II.
No, Abdul Hamid II was removed from power in
It was Abdul Hamid
1919. The genocide happened during the First World War.
No, it started before that. It was under Abdul Hamid II, I promise you.
Okay. Now, historians
Yeah.
who have studied it, people like Bernard Lewis,
Yeah.
he is of the opinion.
Yeah.
Just do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on YouTube, just type Bernard Lewis.
Can't get your.
Sorry?
I was just going to make a joke about you can't get your research on YouTube.
No, you can't. But I'm asking you to go and
I'm
listen to a scholar.
Yeah.
Although he was not entirely, but he was very prejudiced against Islam and Muslims.
Yeah.
Bernard Lewis is known for that, right? But in this case, he could not do it because the evidence points to the opposite direction.
Yeah.
If you type in YouTube, Bernard Lewis on Armenian genocide, in YouTube, you will see the lecture.
Yeah.
You will see his clip
listen
where
to
he's talking about it. He's saying, you cannot say that this was the government policy.
Yeah.
Actually, Young Turks, who were a group of secularists,
Yeah.
who were trying to de-Islamify Turkey.
Okay.
This is a group of people who has come to power at the expense of the.
like revolutionaries that were doing.
Yes, they had
So why
taken
would they-
power.
why
Listen,
would
let
they
me
carry out
quickly
against a
explain
particular
this.
religious group?
Young Turks had taken power.
Yeah.
They had come to power, and they had removed the old Ottoman establishment, as declining as it was at the time anyway, and they took power. And they are the ones, if anyone, who took part in the genocide. And they were a bunch of secularists who were trying to de-Islamify Turkey, number one. Number two, even them, they did not cause the genocide entirely, because the Armenians were seen in war siding with Russia. Okay, Armenians were in cahoots with Russia. I mean, I'm not
They
saying
were
this.
siding with the people who were trying to defend them, which is what any rational person
Yes,
would do.
yes. I mean, it was a war. It was a war, and in war, unfortunately, you see, you don't always control things. It was a war.
Innocent people shouldn't die.
Well, absolutely. We are already in agreement. I'm trying to tell you that the context is far more complicated than you may think.
no,
It's not as simple as Ottomans killed 1 million Armenians. It's not like that. It is not like that. Anyone who tells you that is either ignorant or is simply lying to you. Okay? Because when you read any basic book on the Armenian genocide, okay, if firstly the Turks are even they're contesting the term. They're saying it was not a genocide. Genocide has a specific definition, which means that you specifically go out of your way to ethnically exterminate a people. Okay, that was not the government policy. That was not the Turkish government doing it. Okay, it were the soldiers, it were the people, the Turks, the masses were doing it to the Armenians,
But
right?
They are part of the Ottoman Empire. I think what we should do.
Well,
I'm going to have a wander around. But what we should do next week, so we should have a two-tiered conversation.
yeah.
So we should talk about Islam and the points that I made before. We can talk about whether or not it's compatible with, let's say, a Western progressive liberal society. in
We
the
can
sense
talk
that
about
it
that
accepts-
now, if you want.
No, because I want to bring examples.
Sure,
for you, because
sure.
We're just going to keep going.
But-
around
but-
and
but then-
no, allow me to, because I do have to go.
Okay.
So I think that we have to have a conversation about. We can talk about.
But can you bring your reasons at the same
100%,
time why
yeah,
Western
100%.
liberal democracies are the standard
So this
to
is-
judge Islam by?
So this is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that. We can talk about the acceptance of, let's say, homosexuals, transgender people being taught in schools, because I know that's something that. Muslims
Okay,
have
we
been
can talk
involved
about that, no
firstly.
problem. Yes.
Women, I want to talk about, and the way
Sure.
that they're treated in
Okay.
certain Islamic countries.
Okay.
And then on the other side, perhaps we can have a conversation.
But can you look at some good stuff as well at the same time, so
Yeah,
that
of
you're
course.
objective in your
Absolutely, yeah,
approach?
absolutely, yeah.
So when you come back,
Yeah.
have a look at women in Islam.
Yeah.
Okay, not from Islamophobic websites, because they don't give you. They'll give you maybe 1 or 2 reports in isolation,
Yeah.
and they'll ignore like 90
You know who
other
I speak
reports.
to? I mainly speak to Iranian women
Okay.
on Twitter that live in Iran. They've got lots and lots of feeds of their own sort of examples in that. And
Okay.
Muslim women as well. There's a really great book that I think you should read. It's by a lady called Yasmin Mohammed. It's called Unveiled, and it talks about her experience.
I don't know if she's Muslim. I don't know.
Well,
I know
she
the
was-
one you're talking about.
She was married when she was a young.
Yeah,
when she was a young
Yasmin
lady.
Yasmin Alabai.
Yeah.
Yasmin Alabai.
Muslim,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Mohammed.
I don't know if she's Muslim.
Well,
I
she
don't
was-
know.
No, so it's the example that she was as a child.
There is a book by Ian. Yeah.
So as a child, her mother married a Muslim man, and she was effectively forced into Islam. So she was forced into wearing a hijab, and then she was forced into an arranged marriage, which was forced to wear a niqab.
Which is it's all a particular culture. It's not Islam.
Yeah, but
Islam does not sanction any of that.
Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about.
No,
like
it's not
cleaning
Islam.
up-
You have to
but it's-
separate
but it's-
Islam
but
from
it's-
the
but it's
from the
cleaning
from
up
the
your
stupid
house.
people.
But it's cleaning up your house.
No, my house is not like that.
Yeah,
My
under
daughter.
under the guise
I
of
would never
Islam,
get my
this-
daughters married against
Yeah.
their will.
Under
Never.
the guise of Islam, this is happening. So you can't say, oh well, it's
Under the guise of
it is happening.
under the guise of British values, so many things are happening.
And
So
that's
many
why-
things are
well,
happening.
so
Does
what are
that
the
does
things
that
we
mean
do?
does
So
that
for
mean
example, Tony Blair, what happened? We all disagree with his foreign policy.
Yeah.
What did we do? We voted him out. We voted somebody else in.
I don't think it was as simple as that. No, he didn't get voted out. He had to resign. Remember, he gave his power to Gordon Brown, so he wasn't voted out.
But
Sorry
he ran,
about
he
that.
ran
Yeah.
before
He was voted in again and again.
Yeah.
So that's not an
He
argument.
was thrown out.
Sorry.
He ran before he was thrown out.
Yeah.
But his party.
I think democracy is a failure globally. I think democracy has brought people like Trump, Modi.
What's wrong with Trump?
What's wrong with Trump?
Yeah, he was democratically elected by the American.
If Trump was a Muslim, you wouldn't say the same thing.
But he's not a Muslim.
You wouldn't be saying that. He's not a Muslim, but that's why that's why you asked the question. What's wrong with Trump? Trump is a pervert, is an immoral man who has been. No, he has been. We've heard him say that you grab them by the pussy, right? Come on. Okay. If a Muslim was making that statement, if a Muslim head of state was found.
Have you never said anything like that about a woman? You've never said a party.
I don't think I've said anything like that in my life.
Friend.
Yeah.
What about calling a woman a dog?
Calling a woman a dog?
Yeah.
It depends. If she's behaving like a dog, then she's a dog.
There you go. That's the same thing.
Yeah,
That's
but
the same- that's the same lack of
saying that
respect.
you grab them by the
But it's
pussy.
the same lack of
No.
respect. It is.
This is disrespect. Saying that you grab them by the pussy. Them is not one. It's not you grab her by the pussy. I'm sorry guys for for.
We've kinda gone off
I'm not
topic.
going to say the French. I'm going to say the English. Okay, sorry for that. Right. This is what Trump was doing.
Yeah.
Right. And this is not. This is not my main concern. My main concern. Sorry.
There's one thing that Amanda said. There are people here who have said
He's racist.
he's not racist.
There are Americans. There are Americans
Okay, let's
who.
talk about racism.
Yeah.
So an interesting point. People don't really tend to understand the economics of Trump's policies and the results.
I do understand his policies.
Okay. So black employment rate is at what? The black employment rate
It's
under
less.
Trump?
It's
No,
less.
at an all-time high.
Okay.
It's at an all-time high. Black home ownership under Trump is at an all-time high. Unemployment under Trump, all-time low. These are all things that people don't recognise it for. They just go on the, clickbait, I saw it on the news that Trump is a racist, so yeah, Trump's a racist.
But he's a racist, though.
He's not a racist. He's married to a-
You can
he's married to a
Germany.
Russian- he's married to a
Wait.
Russian woman.
Wait. Germany.
He's married to a Russian woman.
You know when Hitler came to.
policies
Wait.
are
I'm
actively
going to.
benefiting the black community.
I'm going to respond to your point. A valid point.
Yeah.
You have made a valid point that under Trump things are getting better economically.
Yeah.
That may be true.
It is
And that was true with Hitler.
Yeah.
When Hitler came to power in 1933, Germany was a dump hole. Wait.
Yeah,
And by 1939, before the Second World War, Germany had already become a global power.
Yeah.
Hence the Second World War.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that mean
that's
now
not the reason-
Hitler?
No, that's not the reason for the Second World War. The Second
No.
World War-
I know what the reasons are.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you an example that within 6 years, Hitler turned around
can't compare
a
Hitler to
crumbled nation, and it became one of the most powerful nations in Europe, if not in the world. So that
did he
means
do?
that does not mean Hitler.
But you can't compare Hitler to Trump. That's just not fair.
I'm not doing a comparison.
Why
I gave
would
you
you talk about Trump and then you jump to Hitler?
I gave you a very crude example
But you
of
jumped
how
to Hitler.
someone with economic success is not necessarily a good leader for the world or for the people.
You said that Trump's racist and he's not.
He's racist. I'll tell you why he's racist. I'll tell you.
why would you conduct policies that actively
Okay,
benefit black
okay.
people if you were racist?
Have attacks against black people, have police brutality gone up under Trump? Just like,
Possibly, yeah, I think they have.
yes, okay, number one. That's Trump. That's what racism does.
That's not Trump. You could just pin that on Trump
Well,
straight away.
no. I'll tell you why. When the leader is using xenophobic language on the greatest platform.
He's talking about immigration in a sensible way. You can't.
No.
do that.
You can't say they are bringing in rapists.
No. We have to have a conversation about immigration.
Of course, I agree.
There are adults in the room. We have to have a conversation.
Okay, how do you have a conversation about immigration? In a decent way, so that your statements are not taken by light-minded people or simpletons to mean that you can go and attack the minorities. Now, people like Trump and Modi, they speak a language. Sorry? No, I'm saying Trump is not a simpleton. People out there who are simpletons who might take his words to mean different things, right? So for that reason, you have to be careful when you talk about Mexicans. Okay, you can't say they bring in the rapists. Okay, you can't say about Haiti it's a shithole. Okay, there are parts of America that are shitholes.
Let's talk about Haiti. Let's talk about Haiti. So, do you think the sewage system and the education system and the healthcare system in
not
Haiti is
CEO.
the same as America?
Because
Do you think the housing is as good?
Sorry?
Do you think that maybe it is a bit of a shithole? I wouldn't want to live there. I wouldn't want to live in certain parts of the world that are shitholes. What's wrong with saying that?
Okay, you can say that.
Yeah.
You can absolutely say that.
Can't say that
No, because he's a leader. He's a leader. Just like these guys were talking to me and they're saying that you are a leader in the park, which I'm not. Right? Okay. I don't know where they gave me the badge and the trophy or the crown. I don't know when. I don't know when they put me on the throne and everyone is my slave for some reason. Okay. But just like they're holding someone like me, who's not. Trump is the president of the most powerful nation in the world. For him to say things like this, he is dehumanizing people.
I don't think he is.
That's your opinion, but this is no. If a Muslim leader was talking like that about white people, they're trash. They're drunkards. They are adulterers. A'udhu billah. Not that we have to shut them up. I would go and tell this man to shut up. You're a leader. Don't talk like that, because what's going to happen is there are extremists out there in the society. They're going to use you as an example. Oh, this guy, he thinks like us. So these white people are trash. So who's going to be quoting next? ISIS.
But if you talk
ISIS is going to be quoting Mr. X, who is the president of a country.
Like I said, I want to go home for my dinner, but all I'm going to say is that if you talk, rather than saying white people, if you talked about, let's say, if you talked about the English, and there was a part of our society, let's say that our education system wasn't on par and our healthcare wasn't, and our roads were in tatters, there were potholes everywhere, we didn't have a sewage system that worked properly. If you called England a shithole, then that's warranted, because you don't have the infrastructure, and you don't have the society, and you don't have what a strong.
But you and I can say this. We have no significance when it comes to political
So
influence. Okay, but a leader like Boris Johnson, why do you think he was held accountable? Why are people not saying that to Tommy Robinson? Who cares about Tommy Robinson, right? He has a very small segment of the society who's inspiring, and they're very ignorant people, unfortunately. Boris Johnson.
I disagree with you on that, but okay.
He doesn't have many followers. Come on, British people have at large.
I think when you're thrown off social media and you're silenced in a way, it's not really surprising that you don't.
That's good. I don't think people like that.
Before he was banned from Facebook, he had.
Would you want Anjum Chaudhry to be out?
No, not at all. But I don't think you can compare the two, because Tommy isn't a terrorist and Anjum Chaudhry was.
Why is Tommy not a terrorist and Anjum Chaudhry is? Let's talk about that. That's a very important question. I know you have to go. But both are doing the same thing. Both are doing the same thing.
They're not.
They are.
They're not.
They're inspiring people to attack others.
That's not what Tommy does.
Okay.
You really misconstrued it.
But if
anybody that
Anjum has never said go and attack X, Y, and Z. He's never said that. People take his words and they do their calculations and then go and do acts of terror. Likewise.
What I would encourage everyone to do, Muslims included in this, if you want to get an accurate representation of who Tommy Robinson is, don't listen to people talking about Tommy Robinson. Listen to Tommy Robinson speaking about himself. Listen to him address the Oxford Union. Listen to some of his interviews and listen to what he says. He never talks about Muslims. Never. He talks about Islam. This is true. He talks about Islam.
Have you not heard his? have you not seen him in a video in Manchester where he said, in these houses, I mean, Sam, wait.
The video that you're referring to.
Sam, the excuses you're making for, you're making excuses for Tommy Robinson. The same excuses can be made for Anjum Chaudhry. Same.
I'm encouraging people to go out and do their own research because Tommy is not the.
But people have done their research. They've heard him. And then they know he's a racist drug addict.
Islam is not a race, and Tommy is not a racist.
Tommy is racist.
No, he's not.
Let me prove that to you.
You could argue that
No, Tommy made a video. He said London is no longer white. It's no longer English.
But it's not.
When Sadiq, okay, but then that's a racist statement.
No, that's a fact.
No, that's racist.
That's a fact.
No, where are all the good people
London,
gone? He said, where are all? Have you watched that video?
Yes.
Okay. What did he say in that video?
45% white.
No, he said, where are all the good English people? Okay.
So what's wrong with saying good English people?
No. Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. What is the context of the video?
Good English people.
Why did he make the video?
I don't know. You tell me.
Sadiq Khan.
Yeah.
Sadiq Khan was elected.
And he's ruining the city.
No. Sorry. I wish you would make the same excuses. These same excuses can be made for any terrorist sympathizer or a terrorism instigator around the world.
Yeah.
These same excuses can be made for anyone. Osborne, the man who mowed down Muslims outside Finsbury Park Mosque, right, was directly inspired by Tommy Robinson. Directly. There's no.
He looked at him on his computer, right?
No.
How many people?
No.
No. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
No,
they had evidence that he'd been on. He was part of like Tommy Robinson's website. He read his news site, and it was all on his laptop.
So he inspired him.
Yeah.
So he inspired him.
So Anjum Chowdhury, you could argue that he inspired people. To
I agree. We shake hands,
okay.
and now we agree that they're both the same.
Yeah.
So now you do not look good as a gentleman. You do not look good defending some racist thug like that.
Racist.
You're better off.
But Islam, answer this question, and I want a one-word answer: is Islam a race?
No.
So how is he racist for?
I'll tell you why.
Islam?
I'll tell you why.
You can't
Islamophobia is the new face of racism in the West. Okay, wait. I'll tell you why.
Islam is an ideology.
I'll tell you why. Wait. All the BNP members, all the National Front members, previously those who were part of these racist organizations, have now joined the march against Islam. Did you know that?
They've joined first for Britain, first for Britain.
Britain First,
One of them.
EDL, most of these EDL members and Britain First members were ex-BNP and National Front. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so I believe their racism has been translated into Islamophobia now because they have found an avenue to express their grievances, which are actually racial in nature. Racism doesn't have to be against a race. It can be cultural. It can. Wait. It can be cultural. Sometimes people don't know they're racist. Okay, it can be cultural prejudice. It can be skin color prejudice. It can be religious. It can be for a number of reasons. Okay.
If you criticize Christianity, you're racist. No.
If I criticize a particular version of Christianity, which happens to be attached to a country or to a race, then I'm racist. Yes.
You're not.
No, you are racist. Yes. If you are criticizing that particular version,
give me an example
of
a racist slur against a Christian.
It's between whites and blacks. What happened in America? Okay.
But you said a country.
No, a people, a culture, a particular culture, a particular Christian culture. If you don't like it, it can be due to a race, because that particular culture adopted that, or that particular race adopted that particular culture.
In the US, most, I would say on the most part, I'm generalizing here, but on the most part, religious group amongst the black people is probably Christianity, and amongst white Americans is probably Christianity as well. So how can they both be racist against each other when they share the same religion? They can be racist, but not based on their religion, because they both share the same religion. And that is true of the US.
Yes, but you see, outsiders, when they criticize a particular culture of Christianity, let's say, and it's only with that particular race. Let's say white people don't do Christianity like a certain segment of black people would do it. And when you attack that particular culture or that particular way of doing Christianity, you are actually being racist because it's attached to that race, that particular group.
But then you're attacking that race. You're not attacking Christianity. If I started criticizing Christianity as a whole, and not being racist. So if I
But do you not see my point that all of these National Front members are now
what you think
their life?
As a guise? I think that what they're doing is they're seeing the way that Islam is sort of permeating into British society, and they have open criticisms of it. And I think that that's only right and that's only fair.
No.
That be, what's happening in the curriculum.
Wait. I'll give you one example how it's exaggerated and deliberately blown out of proportions. Tommy Robinson was running around outside courthouses, running against Pakistani grooming gang members, rightly so. I believe Tommy was doing something right there. But why was he not right about it? I'll tell you why. Because same Tommy Robinson completely ignored the elephant in the room, the white pedophilia problem, which is pandemic, which is not proportional. No. Proportionally, if Tommy is seriously concerned about English children being abused by anyone for that matter, his grievances should not be against one group of people, right? It shouldn't only be against Muslims or Asians, okay? It should be against everyone who's abusing children, right? No, so white people, well, let me finish very quickly. There are white people traveling from Britain to Philippines, to Vietnam, to Cambodia, to have sex, and even to Calcutta, even to slums of Calcutta, India. They go there to have sex with children. When I say children, I mean 5, 6, 7 years old, these kind of, these ages, right? Okay.
Do you know who Tommy Robinson's best friend is?
I'm not racist. My friend is black, or my wife is black. It doesn't.
No. Well, he's white actually. But
He used to be his best friend. He's not his best friend.
no, he still is.
Who's that?
Danny Tomo. So what does
Danny,
Tomo,
the guy who used to come here.
Yeah, he comes here sometimes.
Yeah, he was planted here for some reason.
What does Danny,
he was sent here. I
what
don't know
does-
why he came here.
What does Danny campaign for?
I don't think
He campaigns against exactly what you just said.
Well, what does he campaign against?
He campaigns against white.
Well, Danny's
pedophilia.
not Tommy. I don't even know
No, but
Danny.
they're both in the same group.
No, Tommy.
best friends.
Tommy, the fact that he runs after Pakis.
Yeah.
Sorry to use the term. Yeah,
okay.
the classical term. I don't mean it
Racist.
in derogatory. Because this is how these people talk, right? He runs after these people only because they happen to be Pakistani and Muslim, right? Grooming gangs. By the way, the majority of grooming, okay, takes place by white people.
I don't think that's true.
No, that's true. But because I'll tell you what.
You're gonna have to bring that evidence next.
I will bring the evidence, and I'll send you the article. I have the article where the police, Metropolitan Police, came out and they made a statement that proportionally grooming, majority of the grooming is done by people from the English background.
This is the same police force that won't talk about Muslim grooming. gangs.
La. Masallah. Inshallah. Daqiqatain.
But this is the same police force who will not talk about Muslim grooming gangs under any circumstances.
Okay.
They won't talk about it. So
wait.
maybe if there was equal.
No. We do talk about it. What we do is
The police don't.
the police.
Yeah, they don't talk about it. Nobody talks about it. Politicians don't.
But
talk
why
about
do you
it.
not talk?
The
When you
police
say
don't talk
grooming,
about it.
when you say
Society doesn't
grooming, why do you say Asian, Pakistani grooming?
I didn't say. I'm talking about grooming. I think we should talk about it on a level playing field. Whoever's doing it,
Okay.
we should talk about it on a level playing field.
100%.
Which we don't do.
I agree with you. 100%. Anyone who is grooming children and exploiting them, okay, those people, those scumbags, they need to be brought to justice, and they should be given severe penalties and punishments.
Harsher
They
than
should
they
not.
get.
Yeah, I believe they should not come out, okay, unless they show real signs of improvement and remorse, okay. But this should be done against Pakistanis, Bengalis, Indians, Arabs, and most importantly, the majority, the Englishmen. Okay, that's the majority. What do you mean? Why do you disagree with that?
Bring those stats next week.
If that's true,
Bring those stats.
I will do it now.
Okay.
Right now. Right now. There's going to be an article. You're going to see it. Majority of grooming.
Who's published the article?
You'll see.
But people won't publish articles about Muslim grooming gangs. This is the problem. So you can
No,
publish
wait.
No, but it's true. It's true. People won't talk about Muslim grooming gangs in the media. Nobody will talk about it because they fear that they'll get castigated as an Islamophobe.
Just wait,
and they'll lose their jobs. So you might find one article that says that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that on the flip side, in Islam, it's not true. Because I'll bring an article next week. It's 86% of people involved in grooming gangs are Pakistani.
No, it depends what type of, you see, how they deceive people is, this is what they do is, they take one particular, wait, is it the method you have a problem with, or is it the act? The act is grooming, having sex with exploited children. This is the act. The method may vary. It may be done online, it may be done in a cab office, it may be done in a restaurant, it may be done on the street. Okay, is it the method you have a problem with, or is it the act? Okay.
Regardless of how you do it, you shouldn't do it. You got one now? Cheers, bro. That's Wikipedia.
Okay, yeah. Independent, where it's coming up. Okay. We're going to read now from an article, okay, published by Independent, and it's a statement of the police. Okay. We're going to see it. What the?
So you've got an independent, I've got an independent.
We need,
as well. This will be interesting.
Okay. We need to dispel the dangerous myth that it is only Asian men who sexually assault young women.
I agree on that.
Okay. Which one is it?
So Independent, this one, it's got British Pakistani researchers say 84% of grooming gang members are Asian. It's very important that we talk about it.
Okay, grooming gangs. You're right.
And that's cool.
Okay.
That's Majid Nawaz.
Okay, Majid Nawaz, and you know how credible a source that is. Okay, when it comes to
he is?
No, of course not. Majid Nawaz is an Islamophobe. He's a Tommy Robinson.
He disagrees with Tommy and a lot
Of course, he disagrees with a lot of. But Majid Nawaz is an Islamophobe. He's one of the most notorious Islamophobes we have in this country. He's one of the reasons why we have Islamophobia here.
This is the thing with Islamophobia. It's often just used as a term to just denounce somebody's argument, because you just say, okay, I'll call them an Islamophobe or a racist or a bigot, because that means that they no longer have a point. Whereas what we're not doing is we're not listening to these people. You just say, oh, Islamophobe, because that's the easy way out. It's just easy to castigate somebody as an Islamophobe, as a racist, if you want to call them a Nazi,
or being paid by the British government, or agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or Mulder and Scully. We don't know who pays me. Where's the check? I need those 2 years worth of payment that you said I'm getting, and I need it now. This is about time. I need it. Look, I need a new
Let him disappear. Wait. No, we're gonna finish. Nice talking to you. So the bottom line is, when we talk about exploitation of children and violence, or you know, the exploitation and grooming of children, we need to talk across the board, all sides, not just focus on one group of people and make it a race issue. That's why what's happening now, and the government has been very lame about it for some reason. I believe some of the people in the government sympathized with people like Tommy Robinson. They wanted racism to grow against Muslims. They wanted Islamophobia to grow. But I don't know whether it's politics, vote bank, whatever it is. You know, they're getting these gullible people to believe in these things, right? And the truth is far from it. The majority of people who are grooming children online and offline are not Asian men. Okay, Asian men are there. They are guilty. They are. Thank you. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much. Thank you. They are guilty. They are scumbags. They deserve the worst punishments possible. But at the same time, to say that they are the ones doing it, this is a lie, because the majority of men who are doing it are white. Men. Okay, you need to go. Okay, but if that's true, then what, Sam? Then what? If that's true, the majority of pedophiles in Britain, and proportionally, and I'm talking proportionally, not because white people are the majority. This is talking in proportions of the population. Okay, we have this problem, no doubt. These taxi drivers up north. In restaurants, and they are scumbags. They need to be in prison. They need to be punished 100% for exploiting vulnerable children. But at the same time, I ask another question: why did these children become vulnerable in the first place? Huh?
I've got to go for dinner. But
Sam, sorry. Thank you. No worries.
Why they're vulnerable in the first place? Perhaps their parents don't know where they are, and that's something that people in white communities can do. But then also, I would argue, just to counter that before I go, that one of the things that I think that people in the Islamic community should do is that if you're aware of these things happening in your communities, then don't turn a blind eye to it. You should be also actively engaging to have these people brought to justice, just as we should. you know, in white British communities or Chinese communities or Indian, like wherever it's happening, we should all work actively within our own communities. When
you're a
we can.
roadman.
Yes.
I'm a law-abiding citizen, not some drug.
But anyway, it was nice to speak
Thank
to you.
you. Thank you, Sam.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum brothers and sisters. Hope this video was helpful for you. This may help others too, so please consider sharing, and we will bring more videos in the future inshallah. So consider subscribing and you won't miss any. Jazakallahu khairan.